So Simple tutorial. Good morning students, welcome to SST So Simple tutorial. My dear students, 2 years journey of democratic politics is going to end with this lesson. We started our discourse with a simple definition of democracy, a form of government in which rulers are elected by the people. And then we reached up to outcomes of democracy. This is going to be your concluding chapter. Today we will discuss the challenges that democracy faces. Dear students, after reaching here, at least you all will agree with me that democracy is the most dominant form of government in the world today. There is no other form of government that can challenge democracy. Democracy has no competitor. Democracy has no rival today. But in our tour of democracy, we have observed that democracy all over the world face some or the other challenges. In simple words, different countries face different kinds of challenges. Do you understand the word challenge? Very often we use this term. Let us first understand the term challenge. A challenge is simply a difficulty that can be overcome. While playing a video game, you must have observed that when you finish a game, you go to the next level, and this level is more difficult. But you don't quit because it is difficult. You play it and finish again to face another game which is still more difficult. In the same manner, a challenge is a difficulty, but it carries within it an opportunity for progress. Once we overcome a challenge, we go up to a higher level than before. So, the challenges to democracy are actually the problems that come while running a democratic setup in the country. These are issues that need to be solved for the smooth running of a democracy. Let us see the types of challenges faced by the democracy. Here we will discuss three types of challenges. First, foundational challenge. Second, challenge of expansion. And third, deepening of democracy. First, let us see foundational challenge. What is this? There are many countries in the world that are still non-democratic. It's not only China, North Korea, Saudi Arabia, Jordan or say Cuba. The list is long. These non-democratic countries are the countries that face the foundational challenge. These countries have to change to the democratic form of government. In simple words, foundation of democracy is to be laid there. Okay. That means these countries have to make a transition to democracy. That means these countries have to undergo the process of changing from the state of a non-democratic one to the state of a democratic one. Let us for a moment take Pakistan. Pakistan had been under military rule a number of times since it was formed. One such military rule you have read in class 9. Do you remember the story of Pakistan under General Pervez Musharraf? Yes, he ran a military government from 1999 till 2008 and people faced a lot of problems then. Today there is no military rule. So the foundational challenge involves bringing down the existing non-democratic regime, keeping military away from controlling government and then establishing a sovereign and functional state. Let us see the next challenge. This is called the challenge of expansion. Now students, let us assume that a country has a democratic constitution. She has a parliament. She has other institutions of democracy. Elections are conducted regularly and so on. Does that ensure that she has become fully democratic? No, my dear students, it is not so. This year we began our lesson with a very important topic, power sharing. We read power sharing among different levels of government, that is between central government and state government, power sharing among different sections of the society. We also read what happened in Sri Lanka. The leaders of Sri Lanka were not interested in sharing power with the Tamils. So, what was its consequence? Violence, civil war, death. So, this is a kind of challenge. What kind of challenge? Challenge of applying the basic principles of democratic government across all the regions, across different social groups and various institutions. This challenge is called the challenge of expansion. Applying basic principle means ensuring greater power to local governments, extension of federal principles to all the units of the federation, inclusion of women and minority groups, etc. That means ensuring due respect to diverse groups and views that exist in a society. I hope you have understood this point. Almost all the well-established democracies face this challenge. Let us now see the next challenge. The third challenge is the challenge of deepening of democracy. This involves a strengthening of the institutions and practices of democracy. Students, we know that elections are essential to representative democracy, right? But just observe one general election seriously. How expensive it has become to contest election today. You can't contest election without money. You can't get power without money. On the other hand, rich people and companies give funds to the parties to influence policies made by them. So this money and muscle power that we read in the political parties chapter, is it not a challenge? Yes. But then we also have Election Commission. Election Commission of India ensures that the election is conducted in free and fair manner. You must have observed that most of the time political parties are not happy with the Election Commission. This proves that the Election Commission of India is working properly and satisfactorily. So strengthening the institutions is very important. This would develop confidence in the people. This way, people will realize that their expectations with democracy will be fulfilled. In general terms, this challenge attempts to bring down the control and influence of the rich and powerful people in making governmental decisions. It usually means strengthening those institutions that help people's participation and control. Enactment and implementation of laws like Right to Information Act also empower people and help people's participation and control. So students, this is all about the three types of challenges that democracy faces. Let us now look at these slides in page 103. Each of these cartoons represent a challenge. You try to find out, it is not very difficult. Let us see them one by one. 1. Mubarak re-elected. This cartoon shows that Hosni Mubarak has been re-elected by rigging the election. So, this is a case of deepening of democracy. 2. Seeing the democracy. This cartoon points to the use of muscle power in establishing democracy. This can be curbed by reforms in the constitutional design. So, this is a case of foundational challenge. 3. Liberal gender equality. Count the male and female leaders and one woman. That means this cartoon shows that an attempt is being made to strengthen democracy by accommodating social diversity, particularly inclusion of women. So this can be seen as a challenge of expansion. 4. Campaign money. This cartoon is trying to bring down the challenge of money power in the making of government decisions. So it is a case of challenge of deepening of democracy. Students, now you should be able to answer these questions. 1. What do you mean by challenges? 2. What do you mean by the term challenges to democracy? 3. Explain the aspects of challenge of expansion of democracy. 4. Mention the issues that are involved in the challenge of deepening of democracy. Dear students, let me stop here now. In the meantime, you read your textbook. In the next class, we will discuss the next part, democratic reforms. Till then, keep reading and have a nice time.